Welcome, wonderful people, to the Sunday rune and card reading. It's very still here today. I'm in a different room. I don't normally work in this room, but that's my house is undergoing transformation. So, but the energy here is very good, but very still. We've had a major storm overnight, and it's quiet. So. Interesting energy around, particularly in terms of the collaborations of energy that I was drawn to use to guide your intuition for each of these readings. Also very interesting to me that aside from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, we are actually using 4 different packs of tarot cards. You know, very often I'm drawn to all sorts of different cards, but today 4 different tarot packs and the runes as always. Also, as I was meditating before this reading and preparing myself to tune into this, health and vitality came through really strongly. Now, before I prepare the cards, let me just talk through the energies that I was drawn to. So, first of all, I was drawn to this really, really stunningly beautiful elephant. Excuse me. This is going to be the energy around reading number 2. Very, very magnificent, but there's a beautiful spiral in its back. And really what I heard from this was wisdom, community, learning from experience, knowing what really... I don't know if you heard that. It may not have picked it up on my microphone, but as I moved my hand, it kind of made a little, almost a bit like a singing bowl when you touch them just slightly and they ring. That was really lovely. So this was to do with family, community, knowing what matters. There's almost feel like, you know, we meet people and irrespective of our physical age, sometimes you meet people and they're like an old soul and you know they are. It's got the energy of that, the wisdom that comes with us into this lifetime. Now, that's actually sitting with a tiger eye angel. Tiger eye is a stone of protection. Just pick this up so you can see it hopefully a little clearer. Tiger eye is a stone of protection. It is said to bring luck to the wearer. It can bring mental clarity and help us to resolve problems, to work through issues. It literally enables us to kind of see through the fog. You know, when you're trying to get out of your own way, you know that your head is just in it. So really interesting collaboration of energy there. Now, reading number 1, I was drawn to a carnelian angel, but prior to that, these 3 rose quartz wands, and very specifically 3. So if the number 3 is relevant to any of you at this moment, this may be the reading that's going to speak to you. Rose quartz, of course, is the universal energy of love, universal love. Rose quartz helps us to restore trust, to bring back balance, to center ourselves in love, to see life through the eyes of love. It's a great healer, I think, in relationship, our relationship to ourselves as well as our relationships to others. Carnelian restores vitality, brings motivation, stimulates creativity, helps us to kind of engage in really positive life choices. And I've always felt it brings courage and motivation. Interesting, because again, slightly different kind of colouring of carnelian, but in reading number 3, we have a carnelian heart. Very, very beautiful. So again, restores vitality, motivation, promotes positive life choices, gives us courage. I think it helps to steer us to success. For me, it sets us into an energy, you know, that sort of almost mental mindset of success. So very interesting energy connecting in here. Let me just place that there. With a labradorite. We have a labradorite angel here. Labradorite is a stone of perseverance, of transformation. Very relevant that we're in a different room as my house is undergoing transformations. Perseverance strengthens intuition, tunes us into our spiritual energies, but allows us to ground them. So very powerful energy for, I would say, for kind of manifestation, because you can tune to your higher self. It helps to open those channels, and yet you can ground that energy and kind of almost bring it into being, bring it into some sense of our human reality. So again, it also balances and protects the aura. Very interesting to be sitting with carnelian, which is bringing about motivation, promoting positive life choices, courage, success, that attitude of success. So quite curious, I think. I'm curious as to see which cards, particularly for me it's very powerful to be using 4 sets of tarot and the runes and the Art of Manifestation cards. They tend to almost rubber stamp the energy or just bring a little extra layer of guidance. So we'll draw the cards and then we will move to that space where you guys tune into your intuition and sit with the readings, but hopefully there's a little bit of guidance coming in already for you. All of these packs have already been shuffled. I'm just going to move our runes out of the way for a moment. So this will be reading 1. I have 2. This will be reading 2. I'm going to move these over. I go a little quiet when I do this, guys. I should just say, for anyone that's interested in or reads cards, if you read cards for yourselves, I have a page on my website now with all of the cards that I use photographed. I need to update because these aren't on there, so there's a couple of new packs, but I will get them on by the end of this week, I hope, at the absolute latest. So you can look at that page. It's always in the information box below. Also, guys, I'm just realising I've gone straight into this, but it's a very powerful energy. I haven't said welcome, so welcome everyone, and thank you so much for those of you who are returning, following, liking, sharing, subscribing. Guys, your comments, your support of me and your support of one another is, you blow me away, so thank you. Thank you so, so much. And anyone new, welcome, welcome to this channel, this community. I think we are really a community of spiritual warriors, striving to walk the pathway of, empowerment, growth, understanding, it's like walking our talk, being what we wish to see in the world. That's very much the ethos here. I put a lot of free stuff into the world. I'm Jenny Florence, so do check out the information box. You'll find everything in there. Let's just tune back into this. Oh, it's bounced a bit. That's interesting. 2 from every tarot pack. That's what I'm hearing. Actually, I'm hearing that that's actually for that. Interesting, jumping to 3 before 2, but I think we have to trust what we are asked. I didn't used to do this bit on camera. It means it takes a little bit longer to upload, so it might get to you guys a little bit later in the day. I don't have a great internet connection here, but I know some of you have really said you've enjoyed it. But it is in the timings, of course, just to help you if you want to just move on to the point where you pick your cards. So I'm just going to move these into this space. We'll draw these and then the runes, and then we're just going to tune into your intuition for a few moments. Okay, so Super Souls, just the runes to go, and then what I'll do is I'll pause the video, set them up. I'll need to photograph them so people who are kind of watching, scrolling through YouTube, get to tune in on that first impression as well, which is sometimes, I think, really important. I mean, there's a lot of readings out there, and your first impressions, you're going to be guided to the one that's right for you, I always feel. Okay. Runes, runes, and runes. Yes. Funny how the runes really do, they really find you. Okay, right, Super Souls, I will pause the camera in just a moment. You will see them lined up as they will be, and we will take just a moment to tune into intuition. You may already know at this stage which reading is calling to you, and of course it may be more than one. So awesome, people. This is where we tune into intuition, we listen. I'm guessing that for some of you guys, you've already been doing that while I was drawing the cards. For those of you that have just arrived at this space, this moment, if not everybody wants to watch the process of the cards being drawn. So if you've just checked into the video at this point in time, welcome. Such a big welcome. Very interesting connection and collaborations of energy. I have already spoken about those right at the beginning of the video. I don't know if I want to repeat that, but I will just go through what we have here very briefly. Rose quartz sitting with carnelian. Rose quartz, universal love, healing energy, and carnelian, restoring vitality, bringing motivation, courage. In reading 2, we have a beautiful elephant who, as I was really drawn to this little elephant this morning to bring into these readings, community, knowing what matters, connecting to wisdom, That was coming through really clearly, and I'm hearing it again now. Really a need to connect to wisdom, to learn from our experiences, to know what really matters to us. Connecting in with Tiger Eye, the angel of Tiger Eye, a stone of protection. It's often said to bring luck to the wearer, but it helps us to resolve problems and to see through any kind of internal fog in our mind. I often think of fog as fear, obligation and guilt, you know, the stuff that lingers and clings and clutters us and stops us from finding our pathway clearly. We then have a carnelian heart. So again, similar energy to this carnelian, but different combinations. So carnelian heart, again, carnelian restoring vitality, bringing motivation, courage, really came through very clearly for this reading. A mindset of success, you know, where we're in that zone, where we believe, where we sort of trust that it's coming. That's the flavour of this, along with labradorite, which is a stone of transformation. We have an angel of labradorite. Perseverance strengthens our intuition, and very much an energy of motivation and manifestation, because we connect to a higher wisdom. We're able to transform that energy into something very real. It's like we literally, as I said, that's why for me it sits with manifestation extremely well. So wonderful people, tune into whichever reading is working and speaking to you. You may be called to more than one. Sometimes it's a collaboration of messages, one or two. You may come back later in the week to refine the reading. If you do, I put all the Sunday rune and card readings into a playlist. So if you go to the main channel homepage, find the playlist there. I think it's quite easy to find. And there you will find obviously various playlists. There's the meditations, the sleep meditations, the overnight ones, meditations for empathy, meditations for understanding emotions. There's all that kind of stuff as well. You will also find this playlist. Oh, and the big 2020s as well, of course, are there. I mean, we're already in the middle of February. So wonderful people, so much love to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your likes, shares, comments, and for subscribing. That really helps to maintain the channel, and it helps me to continue to put free stuff into the world. And anyone new, obviously, do check out the information box. Tons of stuff that I do for free, including the opportunity to win a free private reading and also a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. I'll be drawing subscriber names from a hat at the end of the month. As always, so wonderful people. So much love to you. Get yourselves tuned in, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully later in the week. I will be doing mid-February energy updates. There's a lot going on astrologically, so I'll be checking in then. So much love. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's look at our runes. Okay, we have the rune of flow, very lovely energy. We have the rune of fertility, and we have the rune of the self. This is an interesting collaboration. So flow is all about the flow of, it's the ebb and flow of careers, the ebb and flow of emotions, the ebb and flow, of life, of relationships, careers, emotions. But it also speaks, I think, sometimes of the flow of us into, I want to say, our new forms of being. Fertility it asks something of you. It's a completion of beginnings. It's like we have to cross the T's, dot the I's before we can move forwards. And the self slightly asks you to get out, I want to say get out of your own way. You know, like when your head is cluttering you or cluttering you kind of need to make decisions, but at the same time your head is almost like hindering you rather than helping you. We need a clear mind. So there's some shift or some movement here. The rune of fertility is wonderful. It's a rune that suggests, I'm going to say nurturing of yourself. That's part of the invitation. But it's about moving something forwards and bringing something into being. Almost as if you guys are stepping into a new space in some way, shape or form. It could be a project, a relationship, an area of life. You know, this is a generic reading, but you're stepping into something. The energy is very much with you, but you're needing to cross some T's and dot some I's to do something. There's something that's needed in order to create that shift forwards, or to be able to step fully into it so that it gathers momentum. Again, is what I'm hearing. The rune of flow. This change is happening, and it's going to happen, and you can either work with the change, cross the T's, dot the I's and engage fully in it, or you might resist it, and if you're resisting it, it's going to happen. I think it's going to build its own momentum. I hope that makes some sense to you guys. Okay, yeah, perseverance, have your voice, expectations. Let's shift all our cards over, see what we have. Okay, we have Nine of Wands and King of Swords. We then have, yes, action is required on your part. Definitely, action is going to be needed. We have, just make sure everything is in camera. Yes, it is. Okay. So, we have the Four of Fire. We have the Nine of Water. Wow, 2 threes. 3 of Pentacles. You guys are having to let something go. Something is needing to pass. There's a very powerful message in these cards. Then we have Persevere, have your voice and expectation. We have peace and we have fortune. This is a lovely energy. I'm just going to move our runes to sit here. I think that kind of seems to me to sit quite well in the way that the story is unfolding. That's how I kind of tend to think about these. A story is shown to us, a pathway is shown, an image, a mirror of where we are, helping to guide us, helping to give us that clarity. So, something is kind of weighing heavy. Either for some of you, it might feel as though you've taken on, like, I won't say taken on more than you can do, but you know when stuff just builds up and it isn't that you're on the wrong pathway. That's not what I'm hearing at all. It's more that I think you're beginning to feel a little bit overwhelmed. It's almost as though whatever you've initiated, whatever you've started, whatever you're trying to move into, it's maybe you may be having days where you're wondering if you've taken on more than you can chew, or that there's so much to do that you'll not be able to get it done. That there's a sort of an energy of almost slight self-doubt. It's not actually doubt in yourself as such. It's just that there is a lot to be done, and there's something that feels as though it's either hampering you or lingering from something. So let's connect in with the rest of the cards. King of Swords. I think you're needing to make some decisions. Now, either there is somebody around you who is really quite fixed in their way of seeing things, and you're feeling quite blocked by them. I think for some of you that is there. I want to reassure you with this rune, things are going to flow. Things are going to move forwards. What I see, and it's being shown to me quite clearly with this, this rune today, is like a river, and it's not that babbling brook or a spring or, you know, a small river. This is a river that is gathering momentum, and you're not really going to be able to stop it. It's happening because it's meant to happen. This is about you flowing into your new self. So it's very empowering, but for some of you there's some anxiety around it. Or for some of you, it feels as though somebody is trying to contain you or block you, or, you know, they don't see the same vision, or it just means you're having a wobble and wondering if your vision is quite right. I'm tuning into, okay, I need to swap these cards around. I'm being asked to move their positions, okay? So, and I need to read this card, Expectation. Expectation is a form of memory. Our past experiences colour our expectations of future circumstances and outcomes. You are asked to release any form of negative expectations based on past experiences and centre yourself in the infinite possibility of now. This is really connecting into this issue of the past, where if we've ever had experiences where we were held back, or someone put us down, or as we stepped into some aspect of potential success, people were envious and so we started to dim our own light down. That's what I'm also really hearing here. You are really being asked to step up. Is there something you need to say? I'm enjoying that this is... So there's two aspects here. One is the internal bit, where you are... The internal bit, that sounds weird, but you know what I mean. The internal piece of this is to do with our expectations. We're fearful of the fog. We're fearful that... it won't work out, we're making the wrong decision, what will people think, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we need to put that down, because now is now. Now is full of possibilities. In fact, just cross the T's, dot the I's, close that door, recognise if any of your inner dialogue, inner workings, the inner workings of your mind that may be holding you back, or just connecting to past experiences. It's not relevant now. I'm really hearing that very clearly, very, very clearly. 4 of fire, time to take action. Move this forwards. Sitting under the King of Swords. In one way, you are being asked to really get your own intentions clear. So that's marvellous. Carnelian restores vitality, motivation, promotes positive life choices, sitting with this wonderful energy, universal energy of pure, abundant love, helping to heal the past. But for some of you guys, there is someone who's almost like they have an idea as to how you should be doing this. Have your voice. Is there something that you need to say? So for some, it's having a bit of a site meeting with yourselves. I have very regular site meetings with myself, really evaluate and really check in with where I'm at, and I listen to what I've got to say. I try to take it seriously. Sometimes it's quite important that I also tell myself to put it down. But for sometimes we've got to have that site meeting with ourselves to work out how we move something forwards if somebody else is having a voice, and we know that we need to have our own. Is there something you need to say? An inability to speak out can leave us with feelings of hurt and resentment, which then create a kind of internal energetic roadblock. Voice your feelings to yourself or write them down. It is time to release the past. Again, I think this is fueling this. Yeah, not being able to have a voice or worrying about the outcome is fueling those expectations of patterns repeating. The past is the past. We'll just draw a line. In fact, really interesting. I'm being asked to do something quite profound here. So I'm just going to shift these cards along. Almost feels like this is dividing into a different kind of reading. I'm being asked to place a boundary here. Move those feathers over, and I'm being asked to place a boundary here. Okay, there's a division here. This is now. This is the past. This is the expectations we carry, the thinking patterns, the stuff that we do, just not because there's anything wrong with us, but just because we are human. It's the way we are. We learn from our past experiences, so yeah, that's cool. Let's just draw this boundary here. Whoever this person is, for those of you that have someone in your world, we need to regard them with love. You may need to draw the line and walk away, but you know, whatever it is, we're just going to draw this. Excuse me. I always sort of find my throat gets a bit croaky in the very first of these readings. So, courage, labradite, courage. The four of fire. Action on your part is needed. You know, you do need to keep your focus. Be very, very aware of what I would call deliberate action. Take deliberate, mindful action. Now, the 9 of water, open your heart. I love the Nine of Water. It's like that courage that comes from the inside out, that courage that comes from the source of love, knowing that we're walking a pathway of integrity, a pathway of peace. Persevere. Who would have thought that a humble acorn could grow into a mighty oak tree? But of course this takes time. Whatever you are involved in, this card brings a message of reassurance. Your hard work and continued effort and dedication will come to fruition. You are asked to persevere and trust. Yes, refined trust. Hold on to trust, that universal knowledge. Three of Pentacles. This has a double meaning. Again, you are being asked, invited. I mean, these readings are never telling you what to do. They are offering a picture that has some relationship to you, and you have an opportunity to listen and to decide with mindfulness what action you choose to take. You have free will and conscious choice. Three of Pentacles. It can involve an encouragement to share something, the celebration of something, you're achieving something. Again, persevere, move forwards. But you are also, with the Three of Swords, being asked to let go of something. You are having to leave something behind. It could be an attitude, some block within you. It could be something in you that keeps you listening to other people rather than listening to yourself. But the Three of Pentacles is really suggesting a time where something is going to start to flourish, to move forwards. So, this is a celebration. The initial stage of something is going well. Don't feel too overwhelmed. You're going to be able to tackle these things one thing at a time. Cross the T's, dot the I's, be systematic, persevere. Center yourself in peace. Allow yourself to take mindful, deliberate action. This is really the flavor of this reading. This is about you becoming a more whole person within whatever context of your life this is, whether it's relationship, whether it's career, whether it's just fundamentally you being in tune with you. One way or the other, this is the flow of you into your new space of being. And actually what you're experiencing, I think, this is this rune of fertility. You need to fertilize the ground for your own deliverance. The rune of fertility, and it's as though, and I'm being asked to voice this, it's like when we encounter or embark on a phase of transition, a new phase in our lives, we inevitably encounter some sort of stumbling blocks. And it doesn't mean we're on the wrong path, but those stumbling blocks are there because we're moving into a new space. It's a new beginning. It's different. We're trying something out that is new to us. It's therefore completely appropriate that we're not just going to, it's like if you start a new job, you're not just going to fly through it and know it all. Otherwise, really, it's probably not the right job for you. There's nothing to grow into. There's nothing to stretch into, nothing to learn. When we start a new job, we have a certain amount of information and skills, and we're therefore then stepping into a space where we're going to learn more. It's that kind of a flavor, that kind of a zone. This is lovely, the Wheel of Fortune. And in this pack, these cards speak of, if miracles are not happening around you, what's going on? It's like, and I think there's a very clear message with that, which is to open ourselves to the miracles that life brings us, the chances, the opportunities, and recognizing that if something doesn't run smoothly or we're needing to let something go, it's actually because it's right for us in this moment. There's a huge energy here of compassion and love. And the rose quartz is really, it's interesting. So I feel like I want to move these to the point where they're kind of like shielding, guiding. And this wonderful carnelian angel sits at the top. This is the energy, the flavour of this reading. Nurture, guidance, healing, moving forwards, taking things one step at a time, perseverance, letting things go if they no longer serve us, restoring trust, restoring faith, healing any relationships, with ourselves and with others. Wonderful universal energy of love, but also courage, motivation, success, being motivated to the you that you are becoming. This for me has quite a magnificent flavour to it. That's really the word I want to use. It's really lovely. So guys, the past is to be left behind. That's what I'm hearing. But it's up to you. You can cling and resist, or you can go with the flow. If you go with the flow, you can paddle upstream if you're resisting, or you can just let go and the boat will go where it is meant to go, and the energy will be with you. Wonderful people. So much love to you. Just checking in, anyone who's following the emergence of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, there is a link below in the information box if you want to register. Everything is beginning to move forwards. I should be updating you with dates within the next week. If you're on that mailing list, you'll get an email directly to you to let you know about the date of the launch, and you will be able to reserve a pack and potentially pre-order at a considerably reduced rate, because as a first limited edition run, as I said, we're going for quality, not quantity here. So anyway, guys, so much love to you. This feels as though, I'm not saying it's easy to step up at times when there's resistance either within us or outside of us, but wow, guys, the energy is with you to emerge. So much love to you. Welcome to reading number 2. We have the rune of wholeness. Okay, so this is the pathway you must follow. We have the rune of disruption. Beautiful timing. I knew this was going to show up somewhere. We're in a Mercury retrograde, or we're about to be tomorrow. We're in the shadow. The Great Awakener as well connects in with the planet Uranus. And we have the rune of harvest. Okay, so this is quite direct, actually, in itself. We'll obviously see what the cards show, but the rune of wholeness is the path you must follow. The rune of disruption suggests that there are opportunities around you, directions being given, sometimes opportunities disguised as loss. It asks that, there's a need for you to break free from something. There's a restlessness. It's like an itch that you've got to scratch. There's something you want to take action. And the rune of harvest, this is speaking of a period, a cycle. So like a period of a year, often. So something is, I feel like you need to take action in some way, but let's see where. Let's put these runes here and see what the cards are showing. Very much connecting in here as well to the tiger eye. Stone of protection that brings luck to the wearer. Helps you to see through the fog. Helps you to make decisions. And this elephant was speaking to us of knowing what really matters. Okay, so forgiveness of ourselves, difficult emotions, gossip and drama. So you're having to deal with some stuff, I would say. Ooh, lovely new beginnings, lots of new beginnings, new opportunities here. Okay, wow, guys, wow. Gosh, excuse my language of just going wow, but I turned them over and literally almost took a gasp. The world, it's like an arrival is what I'm seeing, but it's an arrival in a space of new hope, new opportunity. Wow, guys, wholeness, the path you must follow. Now, this is interesting. We've got 3 cards here that are suggesting a challenge in some way. Make sure they are still in camera. Yes, they are. Great. So this is really curious because the energy here is huge. And yet there's forgiveness of ourselves, difficult emotions and gossip and drama. So you're needing to rise above something. I think you are already above it. I think you are the one that knows what matters. I think you are the person. Let's check in with the other. Yeah. Knowledge, King of Water. Very powerful. Very, very powerful reading this. Okay, let's bring these over. We have 7 of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. We have the card of abundance and the card of the Fool. We'll place our runes just here. Okay. It's fascinating how these readings today are sort of almost dividing themselves. This is going to sit just down here. I'm going to go through these cards because I think this is what you're dealing with in some way. This is why you've got this energy of tiger eye and the energy of protection around you, and the wisdom. The elephant's wisdom. They know what matters. Family, connections. They are great communicators. They're so wise, but they're so steady. For me, they are a symbol of knowledge. And they're a symbol of knowledge, a symbol of connectedness. And we have here then this stone of protection alongside the angel of protection, helping to bring you clarity. So this is what I'm kind of hearing in these cards is there's something almost sitting, I want to say it sits below you. It's like you're standing on a platform at the moment. I think somebody is actually making you feel bad about yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you are, forgive my language if this doesn't make sense to all of you. I want to say that that you're not an entirely innocent party. And by that, I don't mean that you are the one that's gone out and done something absolutely awful. What I'm saying is that we're all really normal human beings. I almost feel as though you're taking on more than is your share of something. That's what I'm really hearing. That's what I want to say when you're not an entirely innocent party. It's like you're involved in something. And I mean, the fact that you're involved in it means that you have a connection to it. But it's like you're being given a greater share of responsibility than is actually yours to carry. That's what I'm hearing. It's a very clear message. And this is causing you to travel inwards and to kind of almost, you're overloaded with emotions. You're feeling as though, you know, what did you do wrong? And actually, I want to say, yeah, for sure, you will have some part in it because we all do in any relationship. But you're being given the brunt of something that is not yours to carry. That's really what I'm hearing. That's what I want to just voice. I will read these cards, but in a way I don't think I need to say too much. Forgiveness of ourselves. Stone, this is where you have the stone of protection around you. When something goes wrong, even if the circumstances were out of our control or we did the very best that we possibly could do, we can still carry guilt after the event. Just understand, the gift of guilt is to help us to learn and to develop a conscience, not to carry as a ball and chain for the rest of our lives. Listen to the learning and forgive yourself for not being perfect. Release any guilt today. I'm hearing a really clear message that somebody is creating a scenario where you are being portrayed as the person who is carrying the bulk of the guilt. And I think because you are conscientious, because you know what matters, you have values, it's like you're taking on more than your fair share. Let go of guilt. What you're dealing with are people who don't connect to guilt, and therefore they don't have a conscience, and therefore the gossip and drama stuff, what I would call the backstabbing, sort of, you know, below the belt stuff that people do, all they're doing is projecting. When people do stuff behind people's backs, you know, it's kind of like bullying, but below the belt. You know, there's no courage in that. It's not honest. There's no integrity. Gossip and drama, talking behind people's backs, is one of the greatest producers of negative energy, with the potential to affect not only individuals, but entire communities. Make a choice not to involve yourself in this. This card also asks that if you are unable to find anything positive to say, then please consider saying nothing. Don't buy into it. You're bigger than this. And actually, I think you genuinely know this. I think you can walk the higher ground here. Difficult emotions. This is partly what tangles us in guilt, because if you are conscientious, you'll experience difficult emotions and then you'll try to fix them. This card asks you to listen to your emotions, because then you work overtime trying to fix something that may not actually belong to you at all. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. Okay? If you are feeling challenged, listen to those emotions. They are bringing you guidance. It doesn't mean you have to fix something. It may mean you have to make some clear decisions. But immerse yourself in a space of learning. The card of knowledge, very lovely. It's like a new chapter of life. It's like we're always learning. It reminds us that we learn from life more than any book can teach us. Step into that magical space of learning. You may want to also retreat a little bit. And I don't mean retreat as in run away with retreat. I mean literally create that internal space of retreat. Now remember the rune of disruption. Opportunities disguised as loss. And we are in this Mercury retrograde space, and Mercury is retrograde for the most time in Pisces. We have the King of Water. Wonderful energy, wonderful Piscean energy. The King of Water speaks of finding a safe harbour in the storm. You know, that it's like he provides the energy of safety. He provides illumination, insight. You are called, if you wish to, of course, it's up to you. Free will and conscious choice. None of these readings are here to tell you what to do. But there is opportunity, especially in the Mercury retrograde period, to reflect, to reevaluate. Mercury in retrograde asks us to slow down, contemplate, consider. If something is shown to us, if we are held up, if something awful happens, actually it's really good information. Might leave you feeling pretty shit, but you know, it's really, really good information. Evaluate that information, listen to your emotions. I used to, in my counselling practice, when I was really working full-on practice, I used to say to people, you know, how are you feeling? And if they said really, really shit, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And it became this standing joke between us. Oh, that's interesting. You had a shit day. That's interesting. It's curious, though. The moment we step into that space of, oh, that's interesting, the energy is already starting to shift. We're opening ourselves to a space of discovery through listening to ourselves. So very powerful reading this, really, really powerful. You are in a space where I think you are potentially gaining a lot of wisdom. But you know, the temperature is just dropping and every hair on my body is standing on end. So when this happens, it means we're really homing in on something very powerful. There's something really important for you to see and understand here. You're being brought a gift. Even though I need to say for some of you it may not feel like it if this stuff is going on behind your back. But actually you are going to re-find hope through this process. Something is coming to a completion and it's creating an entirely new beginning. Burst of energy, burst of new resources available to you. Keep your cards to your chest. You may have to either enter or exit through the back door. This is a card that requires what I would call tact, diplomacy, guile. It may not feel entirely great because we feel as though we're not being completely honest with everyone. But there are times when we should not share our innermost feelings because not everybody is to be trusted. Work out your pathway on your own, sweet souls, and follow it. The rune of harvest is a rune of promise, a rune of reassurance, a rune that says things are coming to you and things are going to shift for you. We have the card of abundance, emotional fluency. Everything is flowing. Your emotions flow through you. They are no longer stuck. And the Fool, as we all know, brings new opportunities, a new phase of life, a new beginning. I love that we start with the World, the last card in the major arcana, and we finish with the Fool, the first card of the major arcana. Whatever's coming to an end, sweet souls, or whatever this is about that you're working through, you are the bigger person in this. I need to say huge respect. Again, every hair on my body is standing on end and the temperature is dropping. big respect to you, sweet souls. This has not been easy to navigate. You are walking the higher ground. That is the pathway of the spiritual warrior. Gosh, I feel quite emotional. This is what we need, wonderful people, because we don't transform humanity if we don't individually do this and walk this pathway. So much love to you all. Gosh, I do feel incredibly emotional. My final note is just touching base. There's a mailing list. The link is in the information box below. For those of you that have been following the birthing of these cards, I am now about to start getting very excited about them because everything is starting to move forwards. The books are now going into print. Everything will move forwards. I should be emailing anyone on that list with the date of their birthing very soon. I will post things as well, of course, on the channel. But if you're on that list, you'll get a chance to reserve a pack and also pre-order at a discounted rate. They are a limited first edition pack, so numbers will be limited. Wonderful people, huge respect to you. Namaste and so much love. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the rune of Gateway, awesome. We have the rune of Journey. We have the rune of Openings, fantastic. So, rune of Gateway, reflection. Stepping through the gateway, it's a pivotal moment of change. I want to say a pivotal moment of opportunity. That's also what I'm hearing for you guys. Carnelian, just connecting with this, restores vitality, restores motivation, stimulates creativity, a mindset of success. And we also have the labradite, stone of transformation, perseverance, strengthening intuition, really grounding. Manifestation is really coming through here. This is a moment where you're about to step into something, and connecting in with the Mercury retrograde starts tomorrow, and at the moment we're in the shadow. Opportunity for reflection, but in this reading with you guys, the reflection is significant. It's like that there's this space of appreciation and gratitude for how you have got to where you are. The rune of Journey, more often than not, is a rune where we journey inwards. The rune of Journey invites us to remove any obstacles, one by one, any resistances to moving forwards. Curiously, I feel as though you guys are very ready to move forwards. The rune of Direction would suggest that you find your direction out of darkness into light. You regain clarity. You know where you're going. Very powerful reading, actually. So let's see what our cards are showing. Okay. Goodness me. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. Interestingly enough, it was in an upright, and it's not an upright position, but he sits upright as being the other way round. So I'm going to just say, and actually I think that needs to stay that way. Sometimes I hear to turn them the right way up. You are moving on from something. You're not even in a space where you are looking at something afresh that needs to be looked at in order to move forwards. You are moving forwards. This is the Knight of Wands, new vitality. Now, either you guys are already in that space of, it's like you're raring to go. You want to move something forwards. You're wanting to get going effectively. But I also hear there is something that's not, I won't say holding you back. You see, we have the cards here, course correct, outcome, and open yourself to possibility. Okay, clear messages coming through. Let's just lay all our cards out. This is wonderful. We have the 7 of Water. We have the 10 of Earth. Guys, everything is coming together. That's what I really want. I want to almost reassure you that everything is coming together. Don't be too fixed in the direction that you think you're going in, because I think there's some course correcting to be done. It isn't that things aren't going to move forwards. That's why we have the card of the Hanged Man. The card of the Hanged Man in reverse today is speaking of It's not that there's something that's terrifically blocked. You're just being asked to do this evaluation, the rune of gateway. It's like, it's sort of like leaning into the trust. Everything is moving forwards as it should. Everything is transforming as it should. You guys are well on the right pathway. This is a lovely energy of empowerment, of transformation, perseverance, lovely, lovely energy, very much manifestation. So I'm waffling away with all these sort of like, almost like sound like I'm reeling off keywords, but this is really, really the energy of this reading. So whatever you're involved in, it's like you're really motivated. I think you are already motivated. Your passions are high. You want to move it forwards. As we enter the Mercury retrograde time, and this is really, really worth you guys working with the incoming energy. I did an energy update for February. It might be worth checking in with that. If you go to the homepage and just scroll through all the uploads, you'll find it. Because, and I will actually be doing some updates, mid-February updates, actually this week, I think, energy updates. But you're just simply being asked to course correct and not to be too fixed to your targets and goals as you currently perceive them. Your energy and your vitality is there. The energy is with you to manifest. The energy is with you to move things forwards. The transformation is taking place. You are moving to new horizons. But you also need to nurture. It's like, so let me just speak to you about this wonderful card of prudence. This is the tree of life. Okay, every one of these beautiful flowers is nurtured in a leaf. This tree of life speaks of, it literally says, this card says, something very beautiful is emerging in your life. And you need to nurture it and protect it. It's like you've sown seeds, they're coming up, and you're raring to go. But those seeds need to be cherished, they need to be looked after, they need to be loved. Interesting, we have two knights. We have the Knight of Wands, passion, vitality, creativity coming in. Now, either this is your energy, or somebody is coming into your life who has that passion, vitality, or they come in and they literally kind of light you up. That's great. It's either I think you have this energy anyway in you, and it's either connected to someone or it's just where you are. Whether this is a project, whether this is a person, a relationship, a situation, a new phase, you're going to move house, you're going to apply for a new job, or you're going for you're setting something up yourself, or you're doing a course. Do you know, it doesn't matter where you are in your life. Whatever this space of happening is for you guys, it's very empowered. The energy is very much with you. But you are being asked to potentially course correct. So it's as though all the energy is with you, but something is needing to be tweaked for you to find the clarity of direction. Course correct. If an obstacle or diversion has interrupted your plans, this card is here to assure you that the delay is providential, bringing you an opportunity to pause and to reassess in order to fine-tune your direction. The rune of journey. Sometimes, as I said, generally as a rule, it speaks of journeying within, removing any obstacles within us. But sometimes it can literally be a journey. And we are in Mercury retrograde territory, a space of reflection. When we work with the energy, Mercury retrograde asks us to slow down, to become very attuned to the present, to the signs, synchronicities that the universe brings us, so that we can begin to navigate with greater clarity of direction. We're not always trying to just push forwards in a straight line. We need to take a windy road sometimes. Outcome. This card asks you not to be too attached to a specific outcome. In any new situation, the possibilities are open-ended. Anything might happen. Try not to prescribe a fixed outcome within your mind, as this may limit your availability to access the infinite scope of possibilities sent to guide you in the best possible direction. So I think signs, signals, Knight of Cups coming into you. They're this wonderful, beautiful something that is emerging from within you. Needs to be nurtured, protected. And this is energy coming in of guidance and protection. You know, I'm going to say it could be a someone coming in. It could be you nurturing yourself. But I would see this today, this card. Look at these gorgeous angel wings on the figure riding this horse. This is the energy and the crab of Cancer, the emerging from the water, something new. It's some aspect of newness in you. I think really this is a month where you could receive a month, a week, a time. It's a moment in time, isn't it? And these are weekly readings. But whenever you connect in with this reading, guys, something is emerging and it needs nurturing. And I want to say the universe really has your back. Angels, your angels are with you. It's as though there is guidance and nurture and support for you at this time. Open yourself to possibility. Almost everyone holds some limiting beliefs about themselves. These perceptions block us from receiving the infinite support of the universe. This card is an invitation to reassess and to look beyond these limitations and to recognize that in opening yourself to possibility, you automatically invite positive change into your life. Again, wonderful. We find that clarity of direction. And this is a gift too, 6 of water. You're being offered guidance, support, direction. You're being shown the way. There's a lot of emotional attunement here. 10 of Earth, it's a card of manifestation, of reassurance. Everything is coming together. Everything is as it should be. The Chariot, things moving forwards, but again, integration of all aspects of yourself. Things move forwards because energetically you are in the right place for them to move forwards. The changes are coming from within. It's like you align yourself in that space of possibility within you, and the universe opens doors for you. Yeah, that's the rune of journey. Again, aligning yourself, doing the inner work and trusting the way will be shown. Everything coming together. The card of death, this is a time of transformation. This is like a rebirth for you guys. Well, as I said, whatever it is, you're in it though. It's not something that's new, I think, or about to happen. It's happening. You're in it. But this is, yeah, there's some tweaking to be done. Don't be phased, don't be set back or put off if something doesn't appear to be running smoothly. Give yourself the time you need to mindfully evaluate, remove those inner blocks within you that say this may not work out. You are being shown, I feel this for you is a time of significantly divine guidance. I think the Mercury retrograde is going to be working very much in your favour. I think, to be fair, the energy really can for us. If we can almost like get out of our own way, get out of our human-centric perspective, and lean into the incoming energy in ways that allow things to unfold. So wonderful people, yeah, watch out for the energy update. Keep a lookout for the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards as they are flowing into being. If you are not already on that mailing list, the link is below. That will give you the opportunity to reserve a pack. And as I said, I've probably said before, if you're new to my readings, maybe you haven't heard it, but you will have the opportunity to reserve a pack and pre-order at a discounted rate. If you're wanting to follow those, check out the box below. But guys, awesome time for you. Really, really awesome. The energy is so with you. So huge love to you all. Namaste. And I look forward to seeing you soon.